Hi guys, welcome back to the Digital Difference Maker YouTube channel. Nope, wrong one. There we go. My name is David, and today what we're going to be talking about is how to handle emotions in running your own business. Whether have an online business, whether you're a freelancer, agency owner, a physical store location such as a boutique shop or a car dealership or what have you, there is definitely some emotions that go within running and operating a business. So, dealing with these emotions is very pivotal in success because there's going to be a lot of different things thrown at you in how you handle yourself, especially now in 2022 in the digital age. It's very important because we're going through currently a very unique set of challenges that a lot of business owners in the past didn't really face before. And I'm going to dive into some of that. But without further ado, let's get started. So, yeah, building a business is exciting. It can be rewarding, it's stimulating. When it runs right, you can be, very compensated very well. And you could feel a sense of overall growth and maturity in that you're doing something that matters to not only yourself, but also giving value to the society in owning your own business. It's awesome. Now, there's a dark side that comes with that. Oftentimes, there's a struggle when you're starting to build, and that can last for months, years, maybe even longer. Um, you have to deal with conflicts and challenging emotions from your customers because any business has to deal with other people. That's what business is, and people don't always get along. People don't always see eye to eye. So having some really foundational key concepts and pillars to rely upon when you're going through different struggles or when you're going through things that don't always work out the way you want or anticipated to is very important. So, we're going to get into that now. And just to give you some background, I'm a lot of the challenges that I think we face that are different from other years or generations is there's a lot of digitized stimulus, let's say. We all, I shouldn't say all, but a large majority have one of these cellular devices where we can be pinged, notified, communicated with at all hours of the day. What does that do? Well, I operate a online business. Okay. Now, with that, I can be contacted at all hours of the day. In the past, before technology, before the internet, before a lot of these things, you go to work, you do your business, and then you can detach. You can go home. There is a separation. Now we're truly never separated. I'll be talking to people in the middle of the night. I'll be researching things in the middle of the night online. I can be notified by different platforms whenever. So it's almost a constant interaction. And we're always plugged in. Well, the struggle what that gives us is, there's not a lot of downtime. There's not a lot of downtime that we have as far as separation. And honestly, you need that. You need a little bit of separation. If you're working 12, 14, 16 hours a day, if you're working 12, 14, 16 hours a day in trying to make something happen, well, eventually you need a break, right? So how to manage distractions, notifications, things like that is an ongoing challenge. Another ongoing challenge is I think there's more business owners and people that are making their own business more now than ever. I mean, there's more people in the world now than ever, but there's also that breeds more competition and more saturation. And certain products, at least from the digital point of view, meaning selling things online, there is less education about that in the world, and it's evolving so quickly. Education on the subject is difficult to obtain. It's difficult to pay attention. How do we know the service of what we're getting or what we're providing really makes a difference or not, right? How do we know that it is going to be of value rather than I'm just being sold a bill of goods. So that's more of a challenge in the business aspect, or I'm sorry, the digital marketing and overall online business aspect, because there's a lot of people shouting for attention, right? That's all we're doing. Everybody's just, hey, look at me, blah 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 blah, come here, buy here, blah 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 blah, and that's a unique challenge to this day and age. But okay, we talked a lot about the challenges, right? So how do we remain positive? How do we overcome and just keep moving the ball in the right direction? Well, all right, let's get into it now. I have a few bullet points and I want to explain them, but I got to move my face here for a minute. So let's shrink me down. Let's plop me up here somewhere. And then I got a few bullets, numbered points that I want to talk about that have really, really helped me and continue to help me daily, with staying positive, with managing distractions and handling overall emotions in spite of all the challenges that we were talking about. So the number one point is if-then statements. The number 2 point is healthy habits. And then number 3 is positive distractions. So if you're at all in, owning your own business, have self-development on the mind at all, the number 2 might seem like a pretty normal thing, right? Healthy habits. You've heard this before, probably. Hopefully I'm not the only one to talk about healthy habits, but I'm going to get into that one first. I made it number 2. I don't know why. It's just where I made it, but that's kind of how my brain works. It doesn't go in a sequential order. I just go. So healthy habits, let's get into this stuff now. What does that consist of, right? Eating well, or, eating a balanced diet. Cool. Sleeping enough. That's a big challenge too, especially when we're all plugged in all the time. Whether you operate a digital business, an online business, or an in-store business, you're going to get pinged from this thing. I just did. I just got pinged. Like, literally, as I was holding it. You're going to get pinged all the time. Zzz, ding, whatever your ringtone is, you're going to get pinged all the time. So, sleep mode on that is pretty good. I highly recommend doing that. But sleeping enough, right? That's the obvious. Everybody's different, and you have to explore what works well for you. There's plenty of other channels and plenty of other things talking about this, but, anywhere from 6 to 9 hours, I think is fine. And having a systematized, let's say, routine. Like, you don't want to sleep 6 hours from 3 to 9 and then the next day sleep from 8 to 2. That you're going to throw your body off. You need to be in a routine. Also, work exercising. I'd say minimum 3 days per week. And it doesn't have to be like Arnold Schwarzenegger or Chris Heria workouts. Just something 30 minutes a day, probably more than that, but these are minimums. Those are important too. You got to have healthy habits. And that's for yourself. So eating well, sleeping enough, and exercising. There's another key healthy habit that is not mass spread, but I'm going to talk about it at the end. But let's talk about some of the things that aren't as straightforward. And you know what? I'm going to make this guy number 2. That's what I should have done in the first place. But we learn as we grow. And that's part of the reason why I like outlining this for you, because it's almost like I'm developing something as I'm talking to all of you, even though, it's not set in stone. Nothing is really set in stone. So, okay, let's talk about if-then statements. This is super powerful. I love this. If anybody's familiar with if-then, it's simple logic, simple coding. So if-then statements, if this happens, then this will happen. So an example would be, if it's raining, I'm going to stay indoors. If the dryer beeps, I'm going to take out my laundry. Simple stuff, right? Now, using this in the business context, This is where it's pretty valuable. Um, if my potential lead doesn't contact me back, then I'm going to follow up tomorrow and again in 3 days, as an example, right? If then sequences are super powerful because it takes the emotion out of it. Why does it take the emotion out of it? Well, here's what happens, right? Uh, when do we feel emotional, especially in the business setting and in any setting? Well, we feel emotional when a lot of the time when there's unknown. Like we don't know what's going to happen. That's why a lot of people stick with their normal jobs because it has a routine. I go to the same place at the same time. I talk to the same people or similar people, and I know what to do. I can predict exactly kind of how it's going to go. Well, the unknown brings about fear, and then that causes emotion. It happens to me still. I think it's a normal part of human existence when in reality, we really don't know what's going to happen anyways. Even though we go to the normal job and do the normal things, life can happen. So you have to realize that too. But the unknown, the nice thing about if-then statements when applied to life is that it takes the unknown out of the equation because instead of reacting to something that you walk into as the unknown, you're starting to anticipate certain things that may give you negative emotions. But when you anticipate them and have okay, if this happens, this is what I'm going to do, then it limits the negativity of that emotion. It limits the trough of that emotion. So, again, another example for the business sense is, okay, I'm going to launch this campaign and wait, 3 to 5 days before looking at results. If we do not get these certain results we are aiming for, then we are going to make the following adjustments. And you anticipate, right? You anticipate what could happen. Or you can do it in the positive too. If we do, this would be like option 1, option 2. Because you don't always want to be in the negative either. Like if we do get the certain results we're looking to achieve, right? Leads, sales, etc. We are going to leave the campaign and monitor and then construct new ideas to test in the future. Once the campaign has run its course, whatever. You should create if-then statements for a lot of different items in the way that they pass. So that's a brief tutorial about if-then. It really takes out the unknown. So those are the first 2 points. The third point I want to talk about is positive distractions. So what's a positive distraction? This bold, I don't even know why I bolded it because it doesn't really do anything. Maybe I should change the color for you guys. Yeah, I can roll with that. Can I change multiple? Yeah, look at that. I think this is still bold. Okay, so positive distraction. So oftentimes, especially when operating a business, especially being notified all the time about certain things that are happening. There's a lot of brain space that's occupied by just random junk, right? And how do we detach? Well, you got to have some stuff that you can really associate with that's beneficial for you, right? So positive distractions. It sounds simple, but hobbies. Like one of mine is playing drums or playing guitar. When I do that, I can just isolate, not isolate in the bad way, but I can just completely shut off the business part of my brain, go do something else. And then when I come back, I'm more recharged. I can forget about it. Hobbies, taking a walk, talking with great friends slash family. Oh man, going and doing that, something simple. Going out to dinner if you can, or if things are tight, just go get a cup of coffee or go get something that's pretty non-expensive and just give yourself some time. Spending time outside if you can. And the ideal time for any of this stuff would be, I would say, let's see, I don't know, 1 to 3 hours. Maybe not on a per day because that's quite a bit of time. You may not have time to do that with all your different obligations, but a few hours per week, I think would be pretty beneficial. You know, any of this kind of stuff is great. One thing that I rely on near daily that has shifted. Oh my gosh. Oh, here's another one besides that: reading, writing, blogging. That way you can express your emotions too. You can express them, whether they're negative or positive. One thing too, you don't want to get too high on the positive emotions because things can happen and it just gets on the negative emotions. Just appreciate them for what they are. So reading, writing, blogging, vlogging, because that helps express the different emotions and what you're going through. And then one thing that's super beneficial for me that I really, 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 really recommend for everyone is meditation. So, and this could be a lot of different things. This could be active meditation, where, yoga is an example, or working out too is a active meditation, I would say, because your sensations are all in your body. Now, you can also do like the classic style of meditation where it's cross-legged, sitting down. That helps too, but you have to test. You have to find different things that work for you because everybody's different. But honestly, I've heard a lot of different people say, "Hey, I can't meditate," or "Hey, my brain's too busy." You can. Everybody can. It's really just about watching your thoughts, right? That's the main idea. Any time from, especially if your emotions are high, do it for longer. But I'd say 15 minutes per day. If you can do 2 times this, that's even better. And you'll notice in a month's time, maybe even sooner, that you've calmed down a little bit. You get less angsty about certain things, and it really helps in the overall business perspective. And part of being a successful business owner, right, and I'm going to put this at the top, is being progressive but also balanced. Because I've been both, right? I've been super progressive but not balanced, and then I've been balanced but I'm not really pushing the ball and doing anything different. So I think you need both of these aspects. To really succeed. And when you do this, that's too big. When you do this, it helps a lot. Helps a real lot. So there might be some typos and stuff in here, but I'm going to share this with you guys. Hopefully this helps a lot. And again, overall business building, it's stimulating, fun, exciting, rewarding, but we have to have a game plan with how to deal with certain emotions as we go through things, because that's super important. Super important to stay balanced and stay successful, because it's the long haul, right? It's the long haul. So this stuff will also help you not avoid burnout as well. So, all right, guys. Well, that's pretty much it for today. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you on the next video. Bye.